Hello.
Well, hi there, Obadiah.
Hello.
It is our RIOT podcast. Welcome to a new edition.
A new day, a new us.
It's totally going to be a better show. We promise you.
I'm just telling you that I'm handing you a blank piece of paper and some crayons, some colored pencils, some calligraphy pens, and it's really just up to you to explore the space.
That's right.
I just want you to do not what makes you feel good, but what makes you feel good as an artist, which is not the same as just feeling good.
No, that could be problematic.
There's a lot of space there for you to explore.
So hopefully you'll explore with us as we present this new podcast for you.
Yes, indeed. So today in the podcast, you are going to hear us talking about a job that I am posting sometime later today. I am looking for someone to play me online. You'll hear about that. We talk about Hillary Clinton not liking Bernie Sanders.
Obi's favorite trending item from yesterday.
So great, dude. Bankruptcy, McNuggets.
Wait, going back to the Hillary thing, did you see the updated thing where she was like, I didn't understand. I didn't know that people didn't want to like hear what I had to say about it or hear her thoughts. Like she didn't get that people wanted, what she was going to say. Like she didn't think people would be mad about it.
It's almost like she's like, well, nobody likes Bernie Sanders. Oh, wait, you guys do? You guys like him? What? No, I didn't see that yet. Let's see. We talk about living in Florida and biting down, iPhone rumors, how Nikki is wrong, and
skip past that part. No, listen to that part and hear what's going on.
No, Nikki has to spend her whole day working to figure out how long it's been.
You're wrong.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time. So, hey, what are we doing? We're going to go shopping. Nikki and I are going shopping.
We're going to go head out and get some RIOT Food Fight items for us to try.
We really need to start the car and not go out to it.
We need to get going, though.
It's like 20 degrees.
You should be able to, depending on when you're checking out this podcast, it should be already up. If you listen to the podcast later, you might have to scroll down or check out the video section of our Facebook pages. So if you go to RadioU or RadioU RIOT, either one of the Facebook pages, our trip to go get Food Fight items will be there for you to watch.
Why don't we just take my car or your car? It'll be warm. It'll be like that. The Yukon hasn't been started in like a week.
No, it's been. Chris took it yesterday.
Where?
To the tower.
We don't have a tower. With it reaches to heaven.
Okay. We're not getting into that. All right. We're going to leave now, and we're going to let you guys have your podcast.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay.
So mature.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
The RIOT. They're kind of a big deal.
Hey, can we do that again? Maybe a little more energy?
No. RadioU.
Nikki, if you had to pick what you think my favorite thing was from yesterday,
what would it be?
You've seen the list. On that list, what do you think is my favorite thing? I'll give you a hint. It's at the bottom.
It's at the bottom. Oh, the Hillary Clinton says no one likes Bernie Sanders. Did you see that trending?
Oh, yeah.
It was everywhere. At first, I thought, oh, it's a Trump thing. Everybody's like, oh,
so
no one.
Did I.
And then you click on it, it's like, it is not.
My trending thing was Hillary Clinton says nobody likes him. And I was just like, oh, yeah, right. Nobody likes Trump. I mean, half the country voted for him, but nobody likes him. You're right. And then I click it, and she's talking about Bernie Sanders.
Did you read through some of the responses and stuff?
Dude.
Talk about, like, the two people that were supposed to be on the same team are, like, fighting, and it's very weird to see. Because they're really getting at it.
Oh, my gosh.
Really mad.
Oh, my gosh. I just love it. To me, I was like, wait. Okay, how old are we? Like, are we in the lunchroom right now? Because it feels like somebody was just like, yeah, you know what, Obadiah, nobody likes him. He's ugly. That's what it
is. It became just an all-out war.
So awesome.
I know. And then they'd say,
so awesome.
They'd say one thing about Bernie Sanders, and they're like, oh, yeah, well, Joe Biden. And it's like it was just back and forth.
And I hate to be ageist about it, but I feel like this is the kind of conversation that normally happens around the bingo table. You know what I'm saying?
Both old.
Like we're down
Both old guys.
We're down at the community center, and like the one lady doesn't like the one guy, and then there's a third party that gets involved, and they're all trying to be the condo association president or like to be the one that gets to help with the bingo caller to pull the ball out.
That's just what it was.
Why does Bernie get to take the balls out? Nobody likes Bernie.
It was something yesterday. It was something.
What in the heck?
We read things we shouldn't have read before. We saw insults we shouldn't have seen.
No one likes him.
And that's the tame stuff right there.
I loved it so
bet
much.
You did.
I did because I was just like, yes. I mean, is there anything? It's so casually dismissive. Oh, Obadiah, no one likes him. No one.
No one at all.
He has no friends, no following. I don't even, what's he doing here? How'd he get here?
It's when someone makes a statement where they just go all the way over to the right.
All the way?
All the way over.
All the way.
Just a complete
no one likes
blanket
him.
Statement of no one likes him.
That was my favorite. Politics should be more like that, where, you know, it's just like.
You're not supposed to in politics.
No. It just needs to be like, President Trump, he's a doo-doo head. He is.
See, that's what I thought it was going towards, but it was in between. It was in-house fighting.
Total doo-doo head. President Trump, you mean President Poopy Pants? That's where it needs to go. Mm-hmm. I'm just telling you. That's what I think.
So out of all of our stuff today was Obi's favorite from yesterday.
That's the answer right there. Politics needs to get a little more elementary school lunchroom and or bingo hall.
Get on the playground, guys.
Let's do it.
That's how it's going to be.
Let's do it.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Here at the Riot, we've been working on a way to increase our ratings. So one of the ways we've done that is anybody who ever listens ever gets counted in our numbers.
Meaning you could just tune in for a second and you counted.
You're in. You listened.
Yeah, that is true.
You're a part of the show. And that's kind of what Netflix has decided to do.
Well, Netflix is changing a bit the requirements to count as a view for their shows.
So originally, in order for you to watch a TV show and for them to count you as having watched it, you had to watch 70%
of the show
or film, like whatever they have, 70%. And now they're saying if you watched 2 minutes, you're a view.
Now you're counted. Good.
Oh my gosh. That is exactly like what Facebook does. Like YouTube views, I can't remember how long you have to watch it, but it's longer. But with Facebook, somebody's like, if you scroll past a video in your Facebook feed, they'll count you as a view.
Well, for YouTube, you want it longer. You know, I think, what is it, like the 22-minute mark or something? Because then you can get more advertisements added into it.
Right.
Whereas for these, it's on streaming services, and they want to make sure you count when they say how well a show did.
Right.
And obviously Facebook wants the to show it's got higher views too.
And that's what they're doing. They're just basically lowering what
bar
takes for you to for you to be counted as a viewer.
So they say that the change that they've done makes views, it boosted the popularity of its shows by about 35%.
35%. That's a lot.
So a show that technically might be in your mind popular then, because if someone's only watching, say, 2 minutes out of it compared to 70% of the movie or the episode, means they ditched it.
Oh, yeah.
So they probably didn't like it. So it's not as popular.
There's plenty of things that I have watched where after 5 minutes, I was like, I'm out. Like, I'm not watching this. And it's like, oh, that's a view.
And they count it as, oh, it's a positive thing. Like, oh, it's a view. It's great. It's popular.
The one thing they do say is, you know how Netflix has kind of like their autoplay or whatever, which annoys the crap out of me. Could I please get you to stop? I don't need the trailer. Just give me some graphics.
They say no.
Like,
they're not doing that anymore.
Just give me a picture of it.
Yeah, I know.
And I'll decide. And instead, they're like, well, just go ahead and start it.
Well, they hope that you would just let it keep playing.
Why don't we just start it for you? And we'll start it real loud. What do you think about that?
So they say the timing is long enough to indicate the choice was intentional. They say 2 minutes should be intentional, given that we now have titles with widely varying lengths.
Yeah. Yeah, because, that 3-minute show on Netflix is a good one. It's really good.
The new method is indicative of the popularity of a show, not the viewership, and is similar to the way other media players count views.
Oh, okay. So they're saying that, listen, the fact that you checked it out at all means that at least they're getting, it's popular.
Eyeballs, yeah, like you're interested in it. It's trending, that sort of thing.
Okay, whatever. Like, whatever.
Dear Netflix, Obadiah says whatever.
It's like everything is smoke and mirrors these days.
Oh, sure.
Do you like this show? I don't know. Oh, you just said I don't know. That counts as a view. Numbers are up. And so in the middle of that, I love this. They're like, The Witcher is one of the most popular shows we've ever had. You're like, yeah, not really. Like, not really. Yes, it is.
So what you need to do, if you want to really stick it to them, is every time you click on something, you start a 2-minute count thing.
90 seconds.
And man,
You're
you jump out of there before the 2-minute mark because you're not going to give them that view.
Man, their new hotness now is going to be, there's going to be tons of product placement the first 2 minutes of everything they do.
Oh my gosh, yeah, because that's going to be the most important time.
Henry Cavill comes out and he's like, when I'm out witchering, I never start my day without some corn puffs. Like, and now these new Tim Hortons flavored corn puffs. They're the best.
Might happen.
A Rotten Tomatoes score so high, they refuse to make it public. The Riot on RadioU.
I'm not going to mention any names here, but there's a band that Nikki and I know that they filmed a music video and they were just like, you know what? We're just going to hire some people that are better looking than us to be the band in the video.
A few bands have done that.
And you know what? I'm starting to think about that. And this all started, I know it seems related to kind of the Netflix thing and, Ol NF and his clicks. They'll do anything to get them. But I really had this thought last night. I was going through, I can't remember. It was like, where you get invites like this page. Mm-hmm. And I was scrolling through all of these pages and it gives you this like little photo of whatever. And I was like, man, most of these photos are terrible. Like, these photos do not make me want to like your thing at all. They're terrible. And then I started thinking like, okay, what if there was an Obadiah page or there was a RIOT, like whatever. I was involved in something and there was a page for it. And I was like, you know what? My photo wouldn't make you want to click.
Your profile pic?
Like if I put my picture on this and I was like, please click and like this or whatever, you don't want to like that. You don't want to click that.
So what do you think needs to be there?
I'll tell you exactly what I need. I need someone that's better looking.
Well,
and what I want...
Do you want that or do you want someone who's obviously known to not be you, but is better looking? Does that make sense? Meaning, would you put like a celebrity or,
No,
like, here's a cute puppy or something, like here's a Lego version of me?
That's just bait. What I need is, it's that classic...
You want a catfish, not bait?
What's the story about the guy that had the huge nose? And so he
Cyrano.
Cyrano. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, Cyrano de Bergerac. That's what I want to do. This face, as you know it, I want to disappear. I'm stopping all public appearances or whatever. And I'm going to hire somebody to be me. And
you're just talking to him from a distance?
That's right. We're going to get a little IEM. We're going to stick it in that ear there. And I'll just be like, and I just tell them what to say. And they can be me. And we maybe don't have to push it that far. Maybe I became something of a recluse. People don't see me in public very often, but there's plenty of publicity photos.
When that does happen, then they're like, oh, when he does go out, it's so much more important.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal, yeah.
So I just find somebody that is better looking, et cetera, and together we'll be the online package.
If you want to try that, I guess.
It's just something to think about.
Why don't you just try to take a better picture?
Well, Nikki, okay. I appreciate what you're saying, but there's only so much.
You haven't hit the wall. Like, there's plenty of.
There's only so much. No, there's only so much raw material to work with here. Okay,
it's fine.
And
you work with shadows. You bring in some lighting on the other side.
I'll look like a confessional thing. You're like, it's just his profile, but it seems okay.
It's rather dark, but that's fine.
It's just something to think about.
All right. Well, I still want you to think about that. Maybe we just work with what we have, and we got to find a person who has a bigger vision for a picture for you.
Yeah, maybe. But I still think the answer is let's just get somebody that's better looking.
Let's just get someone else.
Somebody
anybody volunteer.
Like, don't be so hard on yourself. No. I'm not. I'm just thinking big. Okay, we got to take this thing to the next level, and how are we going to do that? Better looking.
But then people that have seen you before be like, wow, he's really changed. What happened to him?
Most people go the other direction, but he is actually really improved.
It's great.
It's amazing.
The Riot has now been downloaded. I hope you installed some antivirus. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
Man, this is amazing. Let's talk about Gina. Gina's 37 years old. She lives in Summers Point, New Jersey. And she hosted a burpee-a-thon.
Now, do you know the workout thing, a burpee?
They're the worst.
You know, you put your arms down, kick your legs back, put them back in, jump up.
I don't do burpees now because I guess I'm smart or dumb, depending. Do you know when I started doing burpees?
When?
Do you remember 4 or 5 years ago when the Supertones toured?
Yeah, they came back.
Yeah. I did burpees to prepare for their concert.
Really? For the
skanking?
Yeah, the dancing
and
thing?
the jumping?
No way.
I wanted to make sure that they were going to play like an hour-long set, and I wanted to be able to dance the entire time and jump around and have, like, I didn't want to give a thought to being too tired.
Stamina and stuff? So
I ran sprints and did burpees because I was like, I know that a month of this, and I'm going to be ready for that concert.
They're tough, and it's rough. When you see someone doing them in the gym, you're like, I'm sorry.
You just want to go over and give them a high five or be like...
Like, stop, you don't have to do this anymore.
Yeah. Well, she just did something amazing. She hosted this burpee-a-thon, and from 7:40 a.m. to 7:40 p.m. on January 11th, she did 5,332 burpees.
In 12 hours.
In 12 hours.
Just the fact that I think that should take longer than that, and who's doing something for 12 hours? But she did it for a good cause, which is really nice.
It's awesome. Her 6-year-old daughter, Emma, was born with, it's a rare birth defect. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, in which a baby's intestines or other abdominal organs are outside the body.
So she had surgery.
She had to have surgery. But what I did know is, like, they have to live all the way up until about 5 years old. Before they can do it. Like, it took 6 surgeries over the course of her lifetime, but she is now through the treatment, and they say has every reason to expect to live a normal, healthy life.
So the mom was raising money for that.
Yeah, and she just wanted people to be aware that it exists because that is a 3% survival rate.
Wow.
And so her daughter is going to make it. Yeah, which is really awesome.
Well,
and so
good job for her. I cannot imagine doing that. When I saw that number, I was like, wow, she really did that.
They submitted it to the Guinness Book of World Records, which they're currently looking into it. But they did a lot of the stuff they needed to do in order to keep track of it. Yeah.
Good.
Now, if you're wondering to yourself, like, oh, yeah, that's just something I'll start doing. No, I mean, she runs her own gym.
Oh, so she's very fit.
Her name is Gina, and she runs Gen Fitness.
She's doing burpees on her own anyway. She's fit.
You just need to be aware that before she had this vision, she had a little prep involved, like leading up to it.
So we wouldn't go and say, okay, we're going to do this same exact thing. You're going to want to start off a lot smaller and then build your way to that.
There you go, Nikki. It's building. All right. It's a process. It's a journey.
Build a burpee.
Exactly that.
Perfect.
So, yeah, 5,332 burpees.
Good for her.
It's amazing.
I'd like to hear that would become a world record just because it's such a meaningful thing where, coming off yesterday, we were talking about the world's largest Snickers bar and like that got qualified right away.
Different direction, okay?
So
it's a different direction.
There wasn't a waiting process for that one, but there is for this. So I hope it gets recognized.
Well, that's because Snickers probably paid to bring them out.
They did.
This lady did it and is now submitting it.
Sure, it's the old-fashioned way.
It actually is the way it used to be done.
Giving every novelty food the publicity it so blatantly desires. It's The Riot on Radio U.
Valentine's Day is on the way.
Yes, it is. Oh, yeah. You gotta lower the voice.
The love doctor is about to speak.
Arby's.
So you're trying to say to yourself, what can I get for that special someone in my life who has everything? Flowers? Done it. Candy?
No.
I mean, yeah. Special 4K Blu-ray just for them? Oh, now that sounds romantic.
That's a love language right there. It's one of the love languages you could be using.
Absolutely. So some people have been posting these on Instagram, and they're being highlighted by Delish. And what they are is a chicken nugget bouquet.
Ooh, yeah. Now, that's not brand new. They've had like bacon bouquets and wing ones and rib ones.
I've seen all that. And you know what? They were of only passing interest to me.
Yeah.
But a chicken McNugget bouquet. Now you're speaking my love language.
So take some sticks, put it in the nugget, bunch it together with some ribbon, and there you go.
And I'm going to need some sweet and sour sauce.
Yeah, you drizzle it or?
No. You dip.
You dip it? Well, no. You know, like the edible fruit bouquets?
Yeah.
So, like, maybe you take the nuggets and just dip it in.
I know what you're saying, and I appreciate it.
Just to the
Nikki,
side.
Yeah, it's going to be on the side. You can put it in a little heart-shaped receptacle.
Little box?
You know, just big enough for two.
Well, you need more than just two sauces.
And just to be clear, like, a lot of people think, remember the champagne-shaped hot tub that we hated and loved all at the same time?
Blah.
Right.
Yes.
So a champagne glass, but it's full of sweet and sour sauce.
Oh, my gosh.
The lights are low and the nuggets are hot.
That seems like the perfect thing to do for Valentine's Day.
Telling you what now.
Aw, especially if you really like nuggets, like, that'd be a cute thing.
The international language of fried chicken.
And with the nuggets, you can put in French fries, like in the middle, like
kind of like it's the filler stuff.
Yeah, you know, like the filler in a bouquet of flowers.
I'm telling you what, right now, it's perfect.
All right, well, someone do that for Valentine's Day and send us a picture if you do.
Yeah, and just make sure. Listen, if it's McNuggets for two, make sure it's a 40-piece bouquet.
Well, don't go cheap.
We want to go all the way on this.
Gosh, this music. It's like we're at some really old restaurant or something. And like, I don't understand. Kind of half elevator, half orthodontist.
Yeah.
It's like both of those music styles combined.
You know what? If you're bringing McNuggets, I'll listen to whatever you want.
It doesn't matter.
You go ahead. You change it. But leave the nuggets with me, okay? Leave the nuggets
and
with
then you
me.
have someone deliver it like a flower delivery.
Hallelujah, right? Oh, so good.
Everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy-dandy fast-forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
You know, sometimes you're able to kind of like get away with something. Like somebody shows up and it's like, oh, no, I couldn't tell anything was wrong. It was fine. And then sometimes you're like, officer, everything's fine. But then it's your behavior.
Oh, that gives you away?
Yeah, it's like your words were working, but your behavior gives it away. And that's what happened to Cherie. She's 38. She lives in Florida. Not sure where. But the police received a domestic violence call, and it was against her.
Oh, now, she was the one being violent?
We don't know who or what or whatever, but she had been slapping a male resident. Don't know any more about it than that. But when they showed up, she was just like, it's fine, whatever. And then she began to become threatening. She started kicking and screaming at the deputies when they attempted to handcuff her. They say they did notice a strong scent of alcohol.
Oh, yeah, that tends to be it.
But this is the part where, again, I always think of this when you show up for work and it's just a Wednesday and you just don't really want to be there. But, you got yourself together and you went and you did what was expected of you. And then you go over to Cherie's house and Cherie grabs your leg and bites your right calf and refuses to let go.
She bit the police officer?
Yeah.
Well, that's adding problems.
She would not release her mouth. It'd be one thing if it was just her hands are hanging onto his leg and you're like, oh, it's kind of sad. No, she bites him and won't let go.
You're not supposed to do that.
So.
Oh, she's going to feel really bad when she sobers up.
They had to bring somebody else over to force her jaws apart so this guy could get his legs back. Yeah. So it did break the skin, which is just wonderful.
Oh, does that mean? Do you have to get a rabies shot with human stuff? Like if a human bites you?
I don't know, but the deputy, once they got the lady off of him, passed out.
Really? Well, he's going to have to go get a shot.
Yeah, maybe that's why.
Yeah, he knew what's coming. If you've ever had one of those shots, man, they're bad.
He was fine with the bite, but when he started thinking about the shot, he was like, I don't feel so good.
I got to go to the doctor now because we got to get something.
That's interesting. You think maybe he passed out at the sight of his own blood?
maybe you're just the stress of having someone not let go of biting your leg.
All that adrenaline quickly leaves your system, and you're like, whoa.
Probably. Okay. Now he's probably going to be more embarrassed because he passed out.
Like, so let me see if I got this right. You got bit by a girl, and then you passed out?
And then, you got to go get your shot now.
And he's just like, ladies are always trying to get a piece of the deputy. Know what I'm saying?
Well, not good for her. That's not what you want to do.
Yeah. So I just feel like when I read this, you got to keep life in perspective sometimes. You're like, man, I never get to do anything fun. I never get to, whatever you're whining to yourself about today. Why don't you say this like, you know what? Today, I'm thankful that no one has bitten my leg.
Or I haven't lost it and I'm not biting someone's leg.
You know what? That's a whole other level. Other level.
Resolutions and stuff.
Yeah.
You're like, that's it. It's dryuary. Why do I need to be dry? Well, here you go.
Cherie, we're going to get you into a dry February program.
It's all the way.
All right. And every day we're going to be thankful that we haven't bitten anybody. In fact, that's going to be your thing this year. No more biting. All right. That's going to be your thing. I'm not going to bite anyone else in 2020.
It's a good year for her once she gets past this little speed bump.
We all have moments, Nikki, but you know what? We're going to push past them.
You're listening to The Riot. Let's all work together today to live life with the patience of a Nikki dealing with an Obadiah.
Gotta hang in there and get through it.
You're listening to The Riot.
Now, Nikki, we said we were going to talk about Crystal.
Yeah.
Got a little rough for old Crystal.
I've never eaten there before.
Me neither.
It's in the South, but I think they said they have like 300 locations, and it's a fast food restaurant.
I have never eaten at Crystal because everyone just says that it's a lot like White Castle, which I also don't like.
Like White Castle, and then, no offense, but...
Which is what you say right before you offend someone.
But
go ahead.
We have our fast foods, and then there's like the lower echelon of like Jack in the Box and stuff. It kind of always like, what's the cookout, things where it's there, and we just never been there.
Well, cookout is overrated.
Cookout, but it is down there.
It is down there.
They don't care about the appearances, the dining experience.
They don't have that.
They'll throw the food out to you. So Crystal was kind of like that. But yeah, you're right. It was similar to like a White Castle.
Well, they just declared bankruptcy. They owe between $50 and $100 million to food suppliers, equipment companies, and others.
So are they going to close down, or can they still run with that? Or
I don't understand bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is just like, they're like, yeah, we're bankrupt, but we're still in business. We're thriving.
I think there's like two types. There's the one bankruptcy where it's like, well, you can't continue anymore. And then there's the other bankruptcy where you're just not having to pay back anything, but you can still continue on.
Well, it looks like this is Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. So it sounds like they'll probably
continue. It's just protecting them from the people trying to get their money, which they're owed.
So corporate owns 182 locations, and then there are 166 franchised locations. So they say shifting consumer tastes, growing costs, and tight labor markets, plus the growth of online food ordering, have contributed to the company's financial problems.
I see.
Well, you know what they need? They need a killer chicken sandwich.
They do.
Get back on the map.
They need something.
Come on, guys.
Got to have the it item.
What if you had oh my gosh, what about this? What if you took your burgers, the ground beef that you had, and then you got some ground chicken, and you had the ham chicken burger?
I think you need to try again.
Hey,
remember,
listen,
what was the two big things in 2019? 2019 was chicken and the Impossible Burger. There was the two. That was the two.
Okay, all right.
For fast food, that's the one that brought in the most money and like made the most waves. You have to combine that somehow.
So you're saying, wait, what was the first one?
The Popeye's chicken sandwich.
All right, so the Impossible chicken sandwich.
Yeah, and it's CHICKIN.
All right. Now, they're having money problems, so they can't afford to buy into the Impossible thing. So what if they came out with the Improbable chicken sandwich?
Like it's actually chicken.
Yeah.
It is chicken.
And you just, there's nobody's got Improbable. That one's yours.
You get people who are confused because they think it's not chicken. And then the ones who just eat it for normal, then they're spending money.
And people who think they're going to White Castle, but they're not.
Because they're going to another place.
It's perfect.
So, yeah, we've not been to Crystal before, but that's their news.
I've driven past lots of them, though.
Oh, you have?
Oh, yeah. I've made a couple of, southern-based road trips.
You were close.
Proper planning prevents poor performance. Clearly, the riot didn't properly plan. This is the worst of the riot on Radio U.
So you've been hearing in the news, I heard Nick talking about it, the China coronavirus, that there's one case of it in the United States. They've had over 200 cases of it in China. And I'm not here
and
to
I think in a few other countries they've had one or two.
I just want to be clear. I'm not here to make light of that at all, but I'm going to share with you what it makes me think of. Did anybody, not the movie. I didn't see the movie. But did anybody read World War Z?
Oh, the book that went with it.
The book. That book.
It was scarier than the movie?
Oh, I never even saw the movie. I was
you never saw World War Z?
Never.
Wasn't that the one with Brad Pitt?
Yeah, and like the zombie tornado.
It was like the first case of like fast zombies in a movie. I mean, not like.
No. 28 days later.
Wow, that's true.
That was really where fast zombies took off. But
this
in
was
World
like
War Z, they were like, hey,
everybody.
They were like zombie tornado.
Yes.
That was where they were like superhuman zombie tornado.
Because you would have in other movies, zombies would always be very slow creatures.
Right.
And this was even scary. It was supposed to be even scarier because you couldn't get away.
Right. And hey, man, it was scary enough to keep me away. Sure was. So World War Z, the book, man, it's terrifying. And because it's terrifying, no, terrifying is not the right word. Unnerving is the word. I listened to the audio dramas of World War Z, where each, like, it's supposed to be a collection of people's interviews and journals about what ended up happening in this zombie outbreak. And I listened to the
you can't listen to an audiobook of a zombie thing.
I did. And they had different actors who not all of which, but many of which were very recognizable to me. I recognized their voices. Alan Alda and Mark Hamill and a few video game people who I recognized their voices. I didn't know their names. It messed with me. Like, I remember. There's so many things that I could tell you from that book.
That audiobook?
Oh, yeah. It has stuck with me forever.
And so you feel like this feels like the start of that?
It all starts in China, where some people are, like, there's a city there that it's sunk underwater, and people have been going down there and diving, trying to find some stuff they can sell. And one of them thinks they get bitten by a fish while they're underwater there, and then they come back, and that's where it all starts in China.
Well,
and
great.
So
we think that now.
The news
way to spread that.
Like, the news reports, just like with every other zombie movie, you just see it in the background.
It's an outbreak
People
of
are
that.
living their lives, and then you just see like 3 people in China
now,
mysteriously.
If you're
blah, blah,
just
blah.
tuning in, I want you to realize that wasn't anything that's actually in the news.
I said that.
But if they just joined in,
Right.
You know, at the
so
zombie
we don't want
part.
a war of the worlds, them.
Correct. So
Okay.
you must realize that it's just making Obi feel that way, and we recognize our feelings, but we don't act on them.
Nikki, we talk about our feelings as a way to cope with them and to better understand where they come from and how we can be in control. Because
Exactly.
you know what, Nikki? Who's the boss of you?
You're
the boss
yes,
of you.
we are the boss of ourselves.
That's right. Okay, so we take control.
Also, don't go listen to the audiobook if you're like, well, that sounds fascinating. Don't go. Don't go.
It's chilling.
Aw,
The
well,
level of, like, I feel like I could tell you all the stories.
No.
I remember
No.
all of them.
Don't spoil it. Just, if someone wants to, let them on their own.
I got to get some more coffee. Everybody, let's just take 5. I didn't mean to go there. It just came out.
It's deep down in there.
I'm telling you, I'm scarred.
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here. Obviously, this is The Riot on Radio U.
Let me share a little piece of wisdom with you that Nikki and I have been, to one extent or another, operating under. And that is, it is easier to not start than it is to stop.
Trust us on that one. It's a lot harder to quit something than if you never started it in the first place.
So much better off having never touched it. Unfortunately, and this is a piece of wisdom that's been passed on from generation to generation, but no one ever believes it.
We're not the only ones who says this.
No. One of the biggest issues as humans that we face is part of our makeup, and that is we believe we're the exception. Everybody does. Everybody thinks they're the one exception to the rules. Like, hey, everybody else had this really big problem, but not me. I'm not like that.
And you might see people around you who don't appear to have a problem with certain things, but you don't know really how that's actually going, and you don't want to risk it.
That's some real talk. I have been amazed how many of my friends who I thought were doing really well have been like, oh no, I have a serious drinking problem. And you're like, wait. What? Like, you were always the one that was like, it's not a big deal. It's this, it's that, whatever. And you're telling me you have a problem? Should have told me that a while ago, bro. Come on. And I've seen it. I have several friends. I'm thankful that I have not faced this myself yet, but I've had several friends whose family members have died from accidental overdoses. It sucks. But I mean, you know, nobody starts out saying like, you know what? Hopefully one day I'll OD by accident. No, we all think we're the one that's not going to happen to. And I'm just telling you this. It is easier to not start than stop. That being said, if you're somebody that's in the middle of it, or you're somebody that's very tempted to start, I want you to know that God is here for you and God can help you. It takes admitting that you're not big enough to handle it on your own. If you're ready to do that, you're ready for God to step in and do something for you. I've had to do it multiple times, sometimes all the time. Like, I have days where I have to do that. And now I'm starting to find out that I'm actually better off starting most days that way. Just saying, you know what? I actually can't do life all by myself. God, I need you to get involved and show me how to live. If you don't have a relationship with God, there is no better time than right now to get God involved in your day-to-day. Whether you can't stop something, you're tempted to start something, or maybe you just know there's a big gap in your life and you don't know how to fill it. Here's a good place to start. God's going to show you what belongs in that space. Say, Jesus, I want that. I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I want you to forgive me. And God, I need to be set free. I've got this thing that I can't stop. Please get me out of this. Or if it's different for you and it's like, hey, God, I need help not starting. Talk to him about what is going on in your life right now, whatever that is for you. And just know that God loves you. He's there. He's not there to yell at you or make you feel bad about whatever. He's there to address where you are right now and to help you get to where you need to be.
You're listening to the worst of the riot. RadioU.
Coming this March, supposedly. Well, actually, no, February. According to Bloomberg. Mm-hmm. And you guys all checked Bloomberg this morning. Don't act like you didn't.
Did you guys bloom this morning?
I burged.
Yeah, whichever one you want to use.
Bloomberg. They say that the iPhone SE will be out or something like it next month, which will be a quote, and I quote, a smaller, cheaper iPhone.
Okay, so not our traditional fall release. It'll be a February thing.
Won't that be wonderful?
And no, it changes things up. I mean, we were on a pattern. So I feel like, are we going to start moving to spring now for phones or what?
Maybe.
What is this saying?
Maybe. You know what? I'm actually looking for, does anybody have like an iPhone 7? You just want to get me? I need one. No, I actually need an iOS device for something I'm working on. But when they say smaller and cheaper, what do you think that?
I mean, smaller and cheaper.
No. Okay. How much is the big iPhone? $1,500?
Now, you always are the one who says, don't talk about money. That makes it awkward.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right.
I think it's, let's say, $1,200.
Well, that's all?
Well, I mean, you don't know with taxes and stuff.
And then there's the
convenience fee.
That's like the all-in iPhone 11, right?
The plus one, like the bigger one.
iPhone 11 Plus.
The Max or whatever.
Okay. But then they have like the XE, which is only $800, right?
I don't know. I think they have too many now.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't remember.
They have this is going to be the SE, and it's going to be cheaper. Because here's where I'm coming from. When you tell me that your iPhone's going to be cheaper, and by cheaper you mean $500, to me, that's still in the stratosphere.
Yeah, but they've been talking about this for a while, that it would have not the same sort of glass and stuff with it, and it would come in maybe more vibrant colors.
Okay.
And like they've had in the past, and it would be a cheaper type.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
I'm not going to get it, but that's okay. I'm still in mine.
Oh, Nikki, you went all the way.
I did. I
Why
went all
would
the
you
way.
want this little thing?
If you ended up wanting a smaller one or a cheaper one, sometimes that is better.
It's not for you. This is something else. Something different.
Okay, so phone, don't panic. I'm just going to put it to the side.
This is for those people.
The other people?
Those people.
But again, if you want a smaller one, you need a smaller price tag to go with a smaller phone.
That's true.
That does make sense.
4.7-inch phone.
It should be nice.
What do you got, an 18-inch phone?
We don't like numbers.
You know what? You're right. All you're doing, people are
Please
just
don't
comparing.
put numbers about this. It's not a competition. It's just their phones.
I'll just tell you right now. If they came along and said, hey, I got a $200 iPhone, okay, maybe I'm interested in that because you see.
You can buy an older one for $200.
I got this Android phone.
Aww.
It's nice.
It was
$150. It continues to perform.
Listen, it's a great phone. It's just a bad camera. If you're buying a cheaper
You're
phone,
right. She's right.
That's the only problem
That's
with the
what it
cheaper
is.
phones. The cameras are worse.
She ain't lying.
So maybe this one will be better because iPhones normally at least put something in the phones with the
Motorola
cameras.
put something in their phones
well,
too,
there's
Nikki.
something and it's not the best. So your phone is great. That's just the limitations.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. You're
And it's
fine.
not like you're going to switch anyways.
So, rumor from Bloomberg. Big, no, not big. Dang. Cheap iPhone next month.
It's a small rumor.
It's just a little one.
The Riot is well versed on many different topics.
They're shy at first, but they're quite skilled at conversation.
This is The Riot on RadioU.
You know, off air, I'm being slandered.
You're
and
not.
It bothers me.
It's not.
It bothers me.
It's because it hurts because it really hits you, doesn't it?
Oh, do you see what's going right there? You're like, oh, the reason this is so inflammatory is that it's true.
Because it's absolutely true.
Nikki claims that I've had a movie of hers for a couple of years.
Yeah, I feel like you have. And you're saying, you at
It's
first
been,
said not
less
even
than
a year.
I say it's been at most a year. It was early last year. At the earliest, latest.
And I told
whatever.
him, well, the only thing we could do is go to the Worst of Riot, like our podcast,
I don't
and
think
go
it's
back
in
and
there.
try to find it.
I don't think it's in there.
We've talked about how you still have this movie. We've talked about that last year. So if we listen and find that part, then that should tell us, oh, maybe we mentioned the date or something in there.
You're wrong, Nikki. I'm not wrong. Now,
You've had this movie forever, and that's fine.
Many of you are like, oh, that's harsh. No, you don't understand what I'm doing. Nikki can't stand being wrong.
Because I'm not wrong.
So what I've done is I've just planted a seed that's going to grow into a plant that has her spending the entire day
to figure out.
searching the Worst of the Riot article. She gets nothing done. She doesn't eat. She doesn't sleep until she finds that clip to prove that she's right.
Do you think maybe we emailed about it? Maybe I can look up old emails?
You should get us. Yeah, go for it.
It has to be longer than a year. It has to be. And I know our years really just blur together.
Yeah.
Because we've done the show for a while, but it has to be.
And, this all springs out of Nikki's going to let me borrow her iPad. And I told her,
You can't until you bring me back my other stuff, which I think is just the movie.
What?
You can't. There. Now we fixed it.
No,
It's like a library,
Nikki,
one at a time.
The library doesn't work. Do you know I can have 25 books out at a time?
Well, that's because things are
So that
hurting.
means you go ahead and bring me that iPad, and I still have 23 of your things that I can have.
But you're way overdue. You're way overdue on that movie.
So what?
Yeah, you have to because
Okay, I'll tell you what. Fine, I'll give you $25 for the iPad.
I think I lived 2 houses ago when I gave you that movie. I feel like
Listen, it's not my fault that you're moving all the time. Okay, that ain't it.
It's been a while.
Nikki's not a good renter. She keeps getting chased out of her places. That's not my fault.
That's not it.
That is not my fault.
Oh, so you will return what's going to be the turnaround for the iPad borrowing?
I just told you I'll give you $25 for it. We'll just call it even.
Oh, you may say you're such
Wait, I'll take $25 and I'll tell you what else I'm going to throw in. In
a
my
movie.
In my basement right now, I have a coffee table
Really?
that I just can't get anybody to take. And
Give
so
it away for free.
I've tried.
You've tried to give it away for free?
It's nice.
Put it on the side of the
It's the only-
street.
it's the only piece of solid wood furniture I've ever owned in my whole life.
And no one wants it?
All I have is particle board from IKEA or whatever. That's my world. Nobody wants it. So I'm going to give you $25 and that. And I'll tell you what, a special surprise for you. when you open up that underneath part, there's going to be something waiting in there for you.
Of the coffee table?
Yep.
I'm not looking. I don't want it.
Look in there. I got something.
You can't give me... I know people say someone's trash is someone else's treasure, but you cannot pass things that way.
No, I'm not. Okay, I'm not giving it to you. This is an even exchange. It's an even exchange.
All right.
Wait,
no, that's not an all right guess.
Wait. You ready? Let me show you
what are you doing?
Look what I got right here.
What do you got in there? You got the 20.
I got a $20 bill right here.
Hey, you got cash today.
You know what?
I'm
cash.
not touching it.
No, it's just like Craigslist. It's just like, here, cash, pick up today, cash, $20, cash.
They're very passionate about that.
I'll give you $20 cash today.
You must bring me the iPad back. The movie that you've had, I feel, for several years. You may still continue because you haven't even watched it yet.
No, I haven't. So iPad, what are you thinking? You bring it tomorrow, that's Thursday. I mean, I got to have it through the weekend.
That's fine. You can bring it back Monday.
Let's make it Tuesday.
Tuesday, fine.
Okay, now the reason I say Tuesday is I might need Monday for the project that I need it for.
Okay, so...
That's all joking aside.
All right, I'll say Tuesday then.
Okay.
Agree?
So by the end of the day, Tuesday.
Which means Wednesday, because that's when we see each other next.
Like Tuesday night.
Next Wednesday morning during the riot hours. All right?
Okay, so next Wednesday.
Do you also know how sad it is now that I watch you watch all these old movies from the 50s that are in black and white about submarines, but you won't finish up the movie I let you?
It's fine. See, now you're making it about me.
Now we're mad.
I started fine,
upset.
but I'm not
Now
bringing the iPad
until you
and I quit.
Worst of the riot. Radio U.
Man, I just saw Sydney post this. I don't know if she posted over the weekend or I'm just now seeing it or what, but this study, I love it so much. It's on the Radio U Facebook page, facebook.com/RadioU, that says that Sunday at 3:58 p.m., that's the moment at which we all become the most anxious about the upcoming week.
Because that's the end. That's when you start thinking that's the end of the weekend.
Yeah, I totally get that, too, because there is that moment on Sunday afternoon where all of a sudden you're like,
oh, it's over.
You start having to think about the week and getting ready for the week.
I think of it Saturday night usually because I'll stay up late on like Friday and Saturday night, and then that's like, woo, we're having fun now. And I always think of it on Saturday night like this is it. This is the last night because you're not supposed to on Sunday night. You're supposed to go to bed on time. So usually on Saturday night it starts kicking in. I'm pretty much to the point now where I just have decided that I'm just getting up in the morning. And so, like, whenever you get up or with an alarm? No. So, like, on Sunday, I do get up with an alarm because I've got stuff to do on Sunday mornings. So, Sunday morning is almost like the first day of the week for me now. But Friday night and Saturday night, and this is where it does sting, is I've got a cutoff point where I make myself go to bed, and I'm usually up. Like, on Saturday, I'll get up at, like, 7:30. But you know what I decided to do is I just treat it like I stayed up late. Sure. And so I just make some coffee and start playing video games right away. And your body's like, okay, this is what we're doing. No problem. We're fine. Okay. But if you start having like that Sunday dread, it's usually in the 3 o'clock hour on a Sunday. You're just like, it's that part of you that's like, it's going to be okay. That's the conversation I have to have with myself where you're just like, you know what, bro, it's going to be all right. Well, do you remember years ago, we read this study and it talked about the fatigue you get and stuff and how they said in this study that if you feel that way on Sunday night, you need to find a new job. They did. And they were very specific about that. They said you must not like your job. It's wrong for you. You must go and find a new job. Right. But I have never met anybody who's ever been excited to go back to work on a Monday. So I don't think it's anything drastic. Like, it must mean you're not fitting with your job. It's just no one wants to go back. Hey, it's not a big deal. I genuinely like what we do here. And yet, on Sunday afternoon, I'm still like, daggone it. So don't feel too bad if you actually feel that way and it kind of drags you down a bit. It doesn't mean... It just means you gotta do it. You just gotta go back. You just gotta power through, man. You just gotta. But it doesn't mean you need to go shopping for a new job because you'll still feel that way with your new job. Yeah. Well, because short of you're like, tomorrow I've got to sleep in and be independently wealthy. Well, that's okay. I guess the only way you wouldn't feel this way. You'd still come up with something to feel bad about. You'd still be like, man,
I can't believe the Porsche's in the shop, and I got to drive the Lambo tomorrow.
It's a tough day.
I hate it here. This is the worst.
So prepare yourself. That's normally when it'll start creeping in on the weekend.
But you know what? It's cool. Like, you're full on in the middle of the dread now. Like, it's Wednesday. It's mid-dread day.
But sometimes it makes you feel better if you know that it's something everybody else is.
It's normal.
It's totally normal for you to experience that.
Don't worry about it.
Not a negative.
It's not, Nikki. It's not negative. It's just
It just is.
It just is.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.
I like my conversation hearts like I like my women.
What?
So sweet I can barely stand them.